What's going on, you guys? Big375 here, aka Vince Salerno. Today I'm reviewing another movie, but we're trying something a little different. I love talking about movies, but that's hard because I also love making movies. I'm a filmmaker as well as a film reviewer, commentator, whatever you want to call it. I do podcasting, I do trailer reactions, and I like to do movie reviews, but I just don't have the time always. And as you've seen in like my Star Wars reviews, I usually take a lot of time to dissect the movie from beginning to end. And as fun as that is, I want to make more short videos that really sum up my thoughts on the film. So I'm going to try to do more condensed, shorter movie reviews. Some movies, if I really like them, I'll try to go in depth on them. And as much as I'd love to talk about Black Panther in depth, I want to do a shorter review just to test this out. See if this is the thing that I'll actually enjoy. To start this off, as I already said, I'm going to be reviewing Marvel's Black Panther, the newest installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the 18th film, I believe, which is quite the accomplishment because this movie is so good. It's so good. Debatably is one of my all-time favorite Marvel films, and the reason why is because, like films that came before, like Captain America Civil War and Captain America The Winter Soldier, this film exceeds atypical superhero movie standards and becomes more than just an action film, more than just a superhero film, more than just a blockbuster. Becomes a cultural event where previous cultural and film expectations have been shattered. It wasn't believed that a all African-American cast could lead a film. Well, if they're talented and they have at least some clout around them, you can. It goes to show that there are people who really care about this cause of representation, and it's one that I'm starting to learn more about this year, about representation and why that's important. People want to see themselves on the big screen. It's a huge issue, and honestly, I question every day why we're still talking about race, like why it's still a thing. We should be treating people with the same amount of respect, the same amount of generosity, and giving them the same opportunities that anybody could get, regardless of their skin color. I don't think that's precedent to judge how successful something will be if, like, oh, it's a black cast, I don't know if that's gonna work. The black community has not had a great representation on film and have a chance to really dive into these really cool roles that not only are action-packed, but have a lot of great character development. And Ryan Coogler, the director of this film, a phenomenal director who did Fruitvale Station and Creed. Actually, wait, that's it. That's all he's done. This guy really pulls on those elements and really shows the African-American experience in a positive light. You know, we see a lot of films that talk about the African-American experience in a negative light and what they have to endure. And, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's really nice to see a film that celebrates being an African-American. And I can't relate to that, obviously, because I'm a white guy. But to see such pride behind this, to see how much fun and how much pride they had in making this film, like that they knew this was special. And the cast, the crew, they all really feel like a family. I mean, like almost like if you've ever been on a play, you know what it's like to be part of a musical or a play and having this cast, and you learn to be around them for so long, and you feel like they're family. With this movie, that's what I felt coming off the screen, is that this cast loved each other so much they felt like they were family making this, or they felt like they were making something really special. And you feel that with every single scene, every single frame, the love, the devotion, and the dedication to telling the story, and it's really inspiring. As with all movie reviews, let me talk about what I liked and then what I didn't like. What I liked, I mean, pretty much everything in this movie I really liked. There's not a lot that I didn't like about this film, but just like, I even talked about this in my initial trailer reaction to the second trailer, I believe. I was really looking forward to seeing a Marvel film, a blockbuster at that, really pull on like culture and focus on the cultural aspects of this world, Wakanda. And it blew my mind how amazing that was, just seeing this technological marvel in the heart of Africa, and how they do a great job at relying on technology and modern technology, but they do it in a African-American interpretation as like what would it look like in a country like Africa. This isn't America, this is Africa. My favorite scene in this entire movie was the challenge day thing where T'Challa goes to the waterfall and all of Africa, or all of Wakanda, is watching him battle for the crown. And because that scene from the beginning where they're all on the boats or doing the traditional dances and the traditional garb, that scene from beginning to end, to me, best showed the pride in the African culture. And it was fascinating. It was from the color scheme and the vibrantness of it to the music, to the acting. And you don't see a lot of movies like that like, there's like a rite of passage. There's not a lot of films these days that do that and do it as well as Black Panther did. And there's like a process, and there's a structure to this whole thing. And M'Baku, played by Winston Duke, comes in and sort of messes that up and tries to challenge T'Challa. Just the whole thing. It was exactly what I wanted to see from this type of movie that relies so heavily on culture and tradition and masculinity and what it means to be a king and what it means to be honorable. And T'Challa fights with honor and he treats his enemies with honor. M'Baku, wants to destroy the Black Panther and take over and enforce his rule on Wakanda. And T'Challa, he gets the upper hand and could have easily killed him, could have thrown him off the waterfall and be done. I'm the king now. But he knows that M'Baku is valued and that he's an important piece to this whole puzzle and that his people need him. And he saves him. He's like, yield, your people need you. You fought with honor. Like, he treats him as an enemy, but as his equal. And it's just great to see that respect. It's almost a cool, like, masculine respect. I mean, as a man, I can speak to that. But that scene was my favorite scene. Talking about the cast, Chadwick Boseman, we already knew what he could do in Captain America Civil War, and he expands on this role like 1,000 times over, and he just does such a great job at leading this film. Like, this is his movie, and he does a great job at leading the cast, and the cast supporting him does a great job at, supporting him. I mean, it's just like no character in this film was a weak character in my opinion. There's no need to justify the woman being strong women or the men being strong men. It's like, you get it. These people are born and raised into battle and honor. I mean, like, Lupita Nyong'o is one of my favorite actresses, and I think, after hearing that she won the Oscar for 12 Years a Slave, like, I want to see her in more. Whatever you could put her in, get her in there, and to see her in a Marvel film and playing such a compelling love interest, not just a love interest, but she's a spy who wants to enforce a new a new way of living on Wakanda, sharing the resources of that world with the outside world, and it challenges T'Challa to think differently, and he has two sort of conflicting ideals coming at him. One is Nakia, Lupita Nyong'o's character's ideals of sharing their technology with the world, and Killmonger's is sharing the technology with the world to make Wakanda on top, and Wakanda will basically rule the world. And he's confronted with those two ideologies, and he has to decide what's better. Helping or enforcing is basically what it comes down to, I think. And she plays that role so well, Lupita. She kicks ass, man. She was great in this. Okoye was fantastic. Loved her as like the bodyguard to Black Panther. Martin Freeman as Everett Ross. I thought he was great, and not the white savior, but still, he wasn't a bumbling idiot. He was an important part of the film, and he was capable and competent throughout the entire film, and that was great. Like, it didn't trash white people. Everybody comes in to support each other, even Martin Freeman. Andy Serkis's Claw, I'll get into what I didn't like about him, but I thought his performance was fantastic. I love him. He's a perfect villain, one of the best Marvel villains. I could watch Andy Serkis's Claw for days. Angela Bassett, who's like just great in everything. She really shows up. And Forrest Whitaker, who plays Zuri. I wanted to see more of him. I wish he didn't die, but someone has to die, and his arc was compelling too, and how he sacrificed himself to save T'Challa, even though it didn't really, I guess it did, because T'Challa didn't die, but still, they both One died, one almost died. And of course, Michael B. Jordan. The two people I want to focus on is Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger. Phenomenal villain, great character. There were times when I was agreeing with a lot of what Killmonger was saying about the world took everything from him. He wanted to take back his birthright as the Wakandan and the rights to earn the throne and Black Panther. Like, you relate to him, you sympathize with him, but he's going at it the wrong way. And I just thought that whole thing with him was really compelling, and he was a great, well-developed character, and I wanted to see more of him, and unfortunately he had to die, but his death was earned, much in the way that Yondu's death was earned. I saw enough of Killmonger and his arc and his character, and it was done so well to justify his death, as much as I wanted to see more of him. Letitia Wright playing Shuri, what a joy, what a fun character, you know? She just brought so much faith and devotion and wit and charm to this character. She came out and said that she was a Christian and she took a year off from acting to focus on her relationship with God. And as a Christian, that's really, really cool to hear about, that she put her faith in God and really stuck to her guns and you know, in a way didn't quit the acting scene, but just took time to nurture her relationship with God, and in return he gave her this great role and a promising future. And that's just really inspiring as a Christian trying to get into this industry, to see someone like her make her way into this and show real pride and real dedication to her faith. Like, rock on, Letitia, you are awesome, you are awesome. Just basically having her be like the Q to T'Challa is great. Like, I love the whole James Bond aspect of the film. Like, it's an African-American film with like kings and queens and stuff like that. It's a spy film, it's an action film, it's a superhero film, it's an epic. It's a Marvel epic in the sense that the Avengers films are like their epics, but this was an epic on its own, that it was really separated from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They don't treat T'Challa like a superhero, they treat him like a king, and I really liked that. I really appreciated that he wasn't just a typical superhero. Like, the Black Panther is not a superhero, it's a title. And it's the title of king, and it means to defend your nation, and I love the idea behind that. Although he is a superhero, he's a great superhero, but I just love that they didn't treat him up front like a superhero. I could go on days and days and days, but yeah, just the James Bond aspect and that scene with the casino, and the soundtrack playing, it took a Marvel movie to make me listen to Kendrick Lamar. And I gotta say, I like the music in this movie, it's phenomenal. But that whole casino scene with Claw and T'Challa and the car chase totally had like a Black James Bond vibe to it. Like, you know, we don't need a Black James Bond because we got Black Panther. He is our Black James Bond, so no need. The one thing I didn't like, they killed Ulysses Claw, aka Andy Serkis's character. And the reason why I wasn't so happy about that was because they set him up in Infinity War, in Age of Ultron, having so much potential as a character. And they did utilize him in a very, very, very good way. I loved everything that he was in. He was like a perfect villain. But I wanted more, and I wanted to see him stick around and really be a formidable threat to T'Challa. Because it seems like he never really met T'Challa until now. T'Challa has met Claw, and Claw has met T'Challa. So I wanted to see more of their relationship fleshed out in another movie, if not this one. And I think killing him really, you cancel out great opportunities. And I mean, you'd even say the same for Killmonger. Like, I wanted the villains to live because they're such great characters. Claw, I can understand that you need to kill him to like get Killmonger to get in good graces with Wakabi, I think Daniel Guerrero's character, the guy from Get Out. I'm sorry, I forget his name. He was great too, by the way. Could have easily kept him alive and had him imprisoned in Wakanda, then he's there as a puzzle piece for something else. Same with Killmonger, but Killmonger had a great death scene that, like I said, you earned his death. It wasn't just like, oh, let's kill him. They earned that death. And I don't think they earned the death of Claw, albeit he is kind of a bit villain. He's a supporting villain, not the main villain, but same thing. He had so much potential as a villain. Why would you want to kill him? And I was really upset by that. Honestly though, that's the only thing I really hate about this movie. It's a small little gripe. It's not even something that affects my thoughts on the film. Man, Man, overall, Black Panther is just a solid film. It doesn't even have to really be in the MCU to be a good film. It's just good. And I think that's a credit to director Ryan Coogler, who has reached almost like Oscar-worthy status, where his films have been nominated for Golden Globes and Oscars and stuff. And getting a director like that, giving him free rein to do the things he did in this movie, gives you a chance for Marvel to really shine in possibly the Oscar limelight. I mean, I'm dead serious. Like, this movie could get some serious nominations, in the acting category especially. Definitely like costume design, set design, visual effects, more or less. The train scene was kind of bleh. Maybe that's one thing I don't like, is that the train scene was very CGI, and I didn't like that. I love this movie so much that I got the Black Panther action figure to put onto my Marvel Cinematic Universe collection, which is growing at a rapid pace, I should say. I'll do a video on that, hopefully in the future. But yeah, man, Black Panther it's a great movie. And that's really what it comes down to. It's great storytelling by a great filmmaker, great acting from great actors, and it's a movie that is relevant and really breaks down stereotypes that we can't have African Americans lead a film like this and have it be successful. That's stupid, because obviously, yes, you can. And these actors give 110%. Nobody cashes it in, because everybody knew how special a movie this was going to be, and it really is a special movie. And I encourage everybody to go see it as many times as you can. I've seen it 3 times already, twice in 2D, once in 3D. It's great in any format you see it in. It's an experience, it's a journey, it's an emotional roller coaster. I don't see why anybody could hate this film. It's not over political, and if it is, the politics in it are just true. We should be treating each other, as T'Challa says, like one united tribe. We all need to treat each other like that, and that's what this is a call for. And this is from a Marvel movie of all things. Like, this is like blockbuster stuff. Like, you don't hear about this stuff in blockbusters, or if you do, it's very like badly done. So hats off to everybody involved. I'm debating where this falls in my ranking of the MCU. We'll find out on my podcast, Vince Salerno Podcast. Black Panther, I'm giving it a thumbs up. Go see this movie many times as you can. It's amazing. Alright, well, thank you for watching this review of Black Panther. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can check out my short films, my trailer reactions, my movie reviews, and episodes of the Vince Salerno Podcast. I have my first Journey to Infinity War video podcast episode up talking about Iron Man. We're doing The Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2, because honestly those two there's not a lot to talk about because they're not that great films, but we'll get into it later, so that's why I'm reviewing those two at the same time. Alright, thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. God bless, and peace out. Action figure collection still going in terms of videos. Cars. This is the first time T'Challa has met Black Panther, or T'Challa's met Black Panther. What?